Alright, so here I am again. As you see, we're making backwards progress per usual. Took this thing out, which, if you remember, was the whole reason why I wanted to get the radio together, so I could put this in and out easier, but turns out, I think now that the e-brake cable is stretched, it goes up higher, which makes it easier to take out. But anyways, have this piece out, so we can put this fancy John in. So we have, places for 2-gauge pods, cup holder, big enough for one regular size water bottle, and a sticker. That's the place I bought it from, would highly recommend. So yeah, it's only 4 screws on the back of this, mink. It was actually, this is one of the few pieces I actually took out and cleaned, so now it's gonna go in storage. So I'm gonna give you a nice, well, figure I'd give you a nice before and after instead of just saying I did it. So before, after. So pretty good fit finish all the way around. It lines up pretty well. And we have, you see, 2-gauge pods, cup holder, and then the actual holder piece slides in. And yeah, so I'm gonna try and figure out, because I have boost gauge over here, so it's air fuel ratio and boost, or air fuel ratio and oil pressure. I think that's probably how I'll put them. I don't think it really matters. So we will try to figure out the best way to do this, because I know for the, what is it, the air fuel ratio as the wideband sensor, but the place where it would go is kind of loose right now, as you saw when I did the shifter. So I'll try and hook up everything as much as I can until I get stuff sorted out. Okay, so here's pretty much what it's gonna look like. So if you're sitting here, you have boost, oil pressure, air fuel ratio, crispy beverage. So this is just how it's gonna look like. I still have to actually plug everything in. I was just mocking it up just to make sure everything fit. I did have to trim. Well, I don't know if I had to, but I figured I would just to give more clearance. There's the metal brace back there, and this one kind of starts to get pretty close to that, so I figured just to give the wires a little bit of room, I kind of... So yeah, this is pretty much how it's going to be sitting, like that. So, gonna do some wiring now. Okay, so I was down there, I didn't film it, obviously, but I plugged in the alternator and some sensors down there, and now I'm up here and I'm going to replace the fuel filter. Well, judging by the box that I got this filter in, it's probably as old as I am, but it looks pretty clean and it'll probably work just fine. And it came with new crush washers, which is good. So let's get that in. Okay, so I got the new fuel filter in, got the lines on, but the one problem I ran into, the old stock fuel line used to have like a fitting like this where there was a bolt that ran through it, but obviously this doesn't have that. So I took the fitting off and the hose is too small, so I'm gonna try and figure something out for that. But for the meantime, I'm gonna try and hook up the boost sensor and the oil pressure sensor. So the boost sensor has 2 options. You can either screw it into the manifold if you have anywhere to screw it into, or you screw this onto here and you can run a line from the manifold to the sensor and then run the wiring to your gauge. So here's where I'm going to hook up to that nipple right down there, and then I have multiple holes in my firewall from things I've deleted, so I should be able to, and then I have this, which is all in with the wiring, so hopefully I'll actually be able to, you know, get something done. Okay, so it's like a month later. I got this done before, I just didn't film it. So there's the line that goes here to the sensor, and then the sensor runs the wires through the firewall, and then come out right about down here, and then I just gotta sort them out. There's the, I think this is that. There's the power, ground, and then there's 2 wires that you can put to the ECU. I should be able to do that because one of the main reasons why I was waiting was because I was getting a parts haul on data ECU and line stuff. And what I'm gonna try and also aim to do today, I have a ATI super damper for this to try and smooth out the runnings. So I guess I'll get to that. I don't know what I'm gonna do next, but I'm sure you'll figure it out. Alright, mid-game interview. Got this on. It fits. Got it run up here, cut to about what I think it should be. Took that off, which was this, attached to that. And so I'm going to put it on with this fitting instead, so I can connect it to that. So hopefully everything goes smoothly, probably not. So I made an abomination. I got a banjo fitting kit, and I thought it was just going to be a fitting, but it was 2 fittings with a line in between. So I cut it in half to get the fitting, and then I realized that the fitting thing I got, it was just with the rubber on the inside, but the nice kit I got with the extra line I thought I would need has the nice nylon on the inside. So even though apparently they're both 6AN, they don't fit. So what I decided to risk my life on is new banjo fitting, AN line, put it onto the ridged nipple, and put a clamp over it. Will it work? Probably not. Am I willing to see if it'll blow up? I guess. I'm not proud of it, but I think it'll work, maybe, probably not. But I think other than the vacuum line needs to be hooked up there, and that fuel line is held on with just as much courage as this one is. Yeah. Fuel system is success. Not really. Let me get that in focus. New fuel filter, line, fuel rail, new fuel injectors, fuel return, and you put a vacuum line on that, and then ball game. So now that I've turned this car into more of a bomb, I'm gonna try and make it a smoother bomb. So I have this nice ATI super damper. I don't have to there's a pulley you can put on here for the power steering belt, but I don't have power steering anymore. So these are all torqued down with blue thread locker, all professional like. And so yeah, the only thing I'm worried about, so I had to untension the belt with my tower of extensions and then take that off. I'm a little worried about how it's going to come off, because I remember it wasn't the easiest last time, but then also this, I want to press it on right, and I don't necessarily have the correct facilities for that. So either we're gonna drive it on or find like a long bolt that I can put a collar around with a nut, but we'll see how that goes. Alright, this was lightly on there, so I was able to shimmy on that off. So as you see, old not sexy, new very sexy. So they're the same diameter. This one's a bit heavier, and this one is much more well balanced for low and high RPM improved mechanical vibrations. I'm sure it says on here, best engine protection money can buy. So this is like prevention of little baby engines. So we're gonna hopefully install this with no trouble, but being that it's me putting it on, there'll be many troubles, and you're not gonna see any of it. Alright, so I have it on here and centered. I've decided to not impact it on, because that would be bad. I'm just gonna buy the tool that presses it in, because it's a press fit instead of this one where it's just a slip fit with the keyway. So that's gonna be on halt for a little bit, and I'll figure out what else to do. Alright, so the next thing I think I'm going to do is replace my distributor, even though that's a brand new 2 years ago when I put that in. For the OBD1 conversion, you need to put on OBD1 distributor as opposed to OBD0. I'm going to get to that. Alright, now I'm sure all that was in focus, but if you notice, we have a slight square peg in a circle hole situation here. So that's where this harness comes into play. So it should Muska tool together. They plug in, okay, got this one on. This one I gotta bend it back a little bit so it fits in the little holder. This one's a little loose from the eBay to the OEM one, so I'll just stick like something in there to keep it in place. But other than that, pretty good. So this will allow the OBD1 conversion to work, and should be good. I've made a shocking discovery. These weren't here a second ago. I pull this off. I don't know when those got there. I'm assuming when the car was sitting for 9 years, which would probably explain some of the rough running and noises I heard. Mickey Mouse was chilling in the goddamn intake manifold. And now the reason why I was taking that off is because I kind of realized with how this has the big entrance but it's a step down right there, that this is only going to be able to do so much. And I was talking with the guy that's going to tune it, and he said usually it's just easier to go with the stock size. So I'm going to take this off and put this one on for now, and yeah, that should be able to make it easier to tune. Alright, so now they got all that good footage where that was definitely not in the middle of the camera. It's back on. This still doesn't clear. I noticed that with the other throttle body, this didn't clear, so I'm probably gonna have to move this and just zip tie it somewhere else. But I mean, if you look, there's a much smoother entry into the old throttle body. I mean the old tube later to the Jonathan, you know what I mean? So a little extra stuff I just got to cap off, like the coolant, throttle body cooling system, and the vacuum hoses that go up there. And yeah, so even though it looks not as cool and hefty as that one, it should work better, hopefully, allegedly. If this doesn't tell you where I'm at with the build, I don't know what does. Intake piping that would make Caden weep. All the air. It looks like one of those diesel intakes. Bumbleclut. But yeah, since the old intake throttle body, well, this throttle body used to be like right here, so it used to do the wiggle waggle, or do the snake through here, and the intake would sit right about here. But boom! Yeah. So at least the new distributor looks good on there. But yeah, I gotta find a way to mount that somehow, somewhere where it'll fit. A lot of bits and bobs, and the ECU, which is the big thing, but I'm sure I'll get to that in like the next month or year or so. We're back with our newest installment of Undoing Progress I've already done because I'm dumb. So we have finally Justin, the dynamic duo.
I'm back.
Again. So what we have here, what you might have saw last time, I was getting this figured out, and I was just kind of digging around low-key, and then I figured, I was talking with the tuner guy. He was telling me the recommendation to put the OEM throttle body on, and then I have the new EVAP solenoid for the gas tank, so I gotta drop that down again, but that line leads out to here, which means I gotta put that canister back on and plumb it all back up, and then that has all the vacuum lines from off the intake and these solenoids for like the fuel cut and all that. I'm hoping that all works, but it's my car, so you never know. And it's me working on it, so you really never know. But we got some decent weather and just enough, like, desire to be out here to work on the car, so we're gonna try and make it work.
We're also getting accused of jumping into people's backyards.
We have two suspects that match the description. Are you two males with black sweatshirts and sweatpants? Yeah.
Take us away, officer.
If you need anyone to jump into a backyard, call us, I guess. Stiff Johnson. So, I took this out before because I thought I was going to be a cool kid and delete the system, but I've decided against it because I'm not that cool. Like
the government watched.
The government.
The government.
The government cheese. So this... What? I found our first problem.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, this one's supposed to go here. Luckily, this is the stock throttle body, so I have the picture where they go. This one goes here. This one goes here. This one goes to this one. There's also a map
This one.
on the hood, which helps.
With all the shitty vacuum lines from the 90s.
Could be worse. Could be from the 80s. There's a lot more vacuum lines back here.
Oh, your wipers? Vacuum.
So since we have the best tools available, and by best tools I mean the leftover stuff that I didn't need to take to the shop, we're gonna jerry-rig this together. But I guess
Typical fashion.
good night garage fashion. Never done the best or right way. Commercial break.